Yo, 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 yo. What's up, all you burner stoners and potheads, and especially all you gardeners out there? This is Mr. Wee Man and Big Earl with the Grow Hour. Big Earl, my brother, how the hell are you?
What's up? I'm doing really well, man. How are you?
Good. And we have a special guest back on for the Burpin the Bag episode. Dr. Riley Kirk, how you doing?
I'm doing awesome. I'm excited to be back on.
Burp in the Bag. We're super stoked to have you on. But before we get started with our show and tell everybody what it's all about, Big Earl and I are going to get baked. We're going to get stoned. This is just what it is. This is my favorite show. I love Burp in the Bag episodes because this is where Big Earl and I get to sit back, smoke out, and listen and learn. It's my favorite show. I love it. And I'm super excited to talk about censorship and using science to stomp the stigma. So
Really cool
we're going to
topic.
get... Yeah, cool topic, Big Earl. So I'm going to smoke, and I'm smoking Chem Dog that was grown by Big Earl.
Yeah.
So, Big Earl, what was this one all about?
That was a nice plant. I think it was more sour than chemi for me when I grew it. I've been holding on to that one for a while. I haven't grown it for a while. I crossed it and let her go like so many. But yeah, I loved it. It was a S1 of the Chem Dog from CSI, I believe. So it was real nice.
I had a couple nugs left, so I keep always a couple of nugs of your strains that you've brought to the house, just like one or two to see how they age, like a fine wine. And this one, we went and saw Closey on Saturday. Mrs. Weeman and I like EDM. We're nerds, and we're 51-year-old nerds. We still go out dancing with the young ones, and we danced until about 2:00 in the morning. It started at 9 and went to 2. We hung with the 21-year-olds. We're good like that. Yeah. So I rolled like a bunch of these, and we were smoking these all throughout the show. And so I got to say, it got me really going. It got me dancing all night. So I like it. Thanks, brother. What are you smoking on?
Nightmare OG. Oh my goodness. I was so happy to get another plant of this down. I love Nightmare OG so much. I had no OGs in the lineup for like 3 weeks. Got my clicker out, fast forward through like Adam Sandler kind of stuff. Like, give me that Nightmare.
I love the Nightmare OG. It's a very special strain. It knocks me the hell out. So, Riley, I know you smoked before the show. What'd you smoke?
I was smoking Fog Dog that my friend grew in Massachusetts. I don't know if you've ever tried it, but it's my first time trying the strain. It's really nice. It's definitely more like body high, but it's very mellow, which is a good nighttime smoke for sure.
Nice. And I see you have a lovely teacup.
Yeah,
it's lovely. What kind of tea you like? I'm a black tea. I love oolong. I love your nerdy teas.
Oh yeah, this is chamomile tea that I grew in my garden. It's good again, awesome. Nighttime tea, but I pretty much drink tea all day long. I had black tea today. I actually just learned to make my own like bubble tea, like boba. So I've been enjoying that too.
That's cool.
Nice. That's awesome that you grow your own tea and you make your own tea.
Oh yeah, I have like a little tea and herb garden for the cooking and the teas.
Nerdy. I love it. I know I am not making fun. Big Earl and I talk about this all the time. I am a super duper ooby dooby newbie nerd. I'm a nerd. I've been a nerd my whole life. So I just different type of nerd though. I like anime. I'm an anime nerd.
Nothing wrong with that.
So, but awesome to hear that. So does it to grow? And I know we're going to be talking about something else that Big Earl's really excited about, but is it hard to grow tea?
Well, it depends on what type of tea. Like traditional teas can be a little difficult because at least they're not really used to growing in the temperate region of like New England. But things like chamomile are super easy. They grow like weeds, or even like mint tea. Like mint will grow like in a field. You can grow mint really easily. Yeah. And chamomile, as long as you keep just harvesting the flower, it'll just keep going all summer long. So it's super prolific and easy to grow.
Nice. I love it.
It's harder to like not grow than to grow. Like mint in my garden, I have to be like, I got to take 5 square feet of mint out again this year. It just goes nuts.
Oh, seriously. And you can use it in so many things too. But I mean, for cooking and just for teas, like totally worth it. And catnip too. If you have a kitty, you should grow catnip.
Catnip, huh? I don't have a cat, but yeah, I heard it's easy
It's
to
in
grow.
the mint family, so it's really similar. Like once you establish like one plant, you'll have a whole patch of it before you know it.
Nice. Nice. So how's your seasons coming along right now between like what we talked about in the last episode and then like also you've been busy. I've been watching you. You've been busy.
Yeah, always busy. I find keeping busy is just a good thing in general, but we've been harvesting a lot. I mean, first of all, next year I'm not growing as many zucchini plants because I every night I'm like trying to just prep zucchini in some way, and I've given some to the food shelter and to my husband's work, and like we still have just zucchini coming out of our ears, but we harvested our potatoes. We got a pretty good crop of potatoes this year. We harvested our corn. We've had so many tomatoes, and I learned how to make tomato soup and to preserve that. So that was a nice addition to the freezer. Yeah, just
grilled cheese sandwich and tomato soup. Nothing better on a cold winter day. Everybody.
Oh my gosh. Last week when it was a bit cold, I think we had that like 3 nights in a row because we were like, we have to eat these tomatoes.
Love it.
So yeah, we've just been harvesting and trying to preserve as much as we possibly can.
And then where have you been? Where have you been traveling lately?
Oh yeah, so I went to Michigan. I went to Michigan to run an experiment with Raw to do a little bit of a CBN experiment with smoking different size joints. So I was there for a week, and that was absolutely beautiful. That was Traverse City, which I went swimming there too. It was like beautiful. The lake was amazing. Then where'd I go? Oh, then I went to Providence, Rhode Island, and to the University of Rhode Island to do some guest lectures and talk on a panel about psychedelics. And then I went to a psychedelic science conference in Stowe, Vermont. And then I came home. So I was on this little tour of New England. That was a little fun for a minute.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, it was cool.
Oh yeah. I love it up in Traverse City. It's super pretty.
It was amazing.
Really pretty.
Yeah, like what a little hidden gem. And I just missed the like cherry festival. I guess that's like a huge deal there. I wish I would have went to that. That sounds really cool. But either way, I still got to go
Michigan
to
cherries.
Dude, $59 ounces. How is that even possible at the dispensaries there? That is insane.
There's a lot of weed in Michigan, and they're doing $260 million a month in Michigan right now. So I don't feel sorry for anybody.
Whoa.
I don't.
If you break it down too from like their side point, so some of the like more average prices on these big gardens, from what I've heard, like around the $500 a pound, is what it costs them to grow, and it's so competitive up here that it's like even at $50 ounces, you're getting $800 a pound. Yeah. It's like, well, we're making $300 off the $500. Like that's something, because there's just so much weed.
It's all about volume in Michigan. It's all about volume. Volume.
We are so far from being there. It seems like right now it's like we still have very expensive ounces in New England. Other than northern Maine.
Very expensive ounces in Illinois too, and then put the tax on top of it.
Oh, yeah.
No, but Michigan is all volume. A lot of weeds being grown. The only people I feel sorry for are the caregiver program peeps that are still fighting every day to keep their program going.
Yeah.
And the ones that actually should be able to make money. So, the reason why Michigan is where it's at today.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the caregivers who started the program. So,
That's true.
And, that's unfortunate, but it is nice to see that price reduce because there's so many med patients or even non-med patients that need to use cannabis. And at the current prices with the dispensary weed, like it's insane. Like you can't afford to be buying that like $200 an ounce, like through the legal market if you were doing that.
Some really good hash makers in Michigan too. I've smoked some really good hash out of Michigan. Like you don't have to go far anymore. You just go 2 hours away and you get some really good hash.
The biggest problem with that race to the bottom, which we need to figure out how to keep the prices low while still getting the quality product. Because like a lot of these products out there, it's like it's a $50 ounce, then you get it and it's like it smells like hay. it has a harvest date like a year ago. And I don't buy it from dispensaries up here. I just, people tell me, and the few dispensaries I've gotten it from have not been super fun. But yeah, it'll be that day. It'll be that way one day. It'll be good quality flower at a lower price, hopefully,
And
for everybody.
I smelled the weed, the $59 weed, because it was, one of the dispensaries you were able to, and it didn't smell that bad. And I was a little bit surprised by that.
Yeah.
Like I would smoke it. I didn't buy it, but I would smoke it.
Sure.
There's some good growers in Michigan, for big cultivation or craft cultivation. There's some good growers. I've smoked some good weed in Michigan, but I also have my buddy that I smoke a lot of good weed from Michigan too. So it's, so Michigan, I mean, you got to look at it this way. Here, I'll give you examples. California, right? Oregon, and then Washington started weed, started craft beer, like where it started. And then it goes to Michigan. Michigan is like the second or third largest craft beer producer, and some of the best breweries in the world are out of Michigan. And then just like California, Oregon, and Washington. And then Michigan, first Midwest state to start cannabis, right?
Yeah.
And on a med, and then going into rec a little bit later. But I mean, there's 600 dispensaries in Michigan. I mean,
wow,
that's a lot.
That is a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
And probably the most liberal caregiver system as well, for now. As far as like 12 plants, 5 patients with 12 plants, so a caregiver can have 72 plants. I don't know if many other places have that.
It's given a lot of people an opportunity to do something in cannabis. And I love the Midwest. I've been in the Midwest for 23 years, almost 24 years now. And the Midwest is different. I mean, I'm from the Northeast, and then I moved to the Southeast, and now I'm in the Midwest. So I kind of lived east of the Rockies. So you just gotta, the Midwest though has always been strong in a lot of things, but they've learned from the West Coast on how to craft things, if that makes sense.
It does.
Now I'm really high. This really kicked in. I told you, Earl. I told you this is why I love Burpin the Bag. It's just a free flow talk.
You're gonna start dropping your F-bomb soon.
No, I haven't.
I'm ready for it.
I'm good. So Earl, let's move on. Let's go. I know Riley's on the East Coast, so go ahead. Ask her about that, the elderberries.
Oh man, I love that episode. Can I tell you that? I put it in the notes. I told my wife afterwards, I was like, we're going to be freaking looking for elderberries when we drive down the road now. Just don't worry about it. I haven't found any yet, but I really love that bag. And I was listening to your episode today that I really loved, I want to say. And the imposter syndrome, I think, was spot on. And just kind of like,
what a tough subject.
And it was a really good episode.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I appreciate you putting that out there.
Yeah, and in the spring, during the elderberry episode, I mentioned that, or Jake and I had mentioned that it's easiest to start looking for them in the spring because they're these big white flowers. Well, they're small, but they're bundles of white flowers. Whereas this time of year, they're just like black dots in the woods. So they're very hard to locate just by, like, if you're driving. But yeah, in the spring, I will post pictures of what the elderberry flowers look like so that maybe you can, if you're still looking then.
Keep a map.
Yeah. Also, imposter syndrome and smoking weed. I feel like that's an interesting combination. I don't know about you guys. I mean, I know you guys don't make like a bunch of reels and TikToks and that kind of stuff. But sometimes when I smoke and I try to record a video of myself and I'm like looking at myself talking to my phone, I'm like, absolutely not. I can't do this. This is way too much right now. So it kind of, I feel like it can make that worse. But sometimes it can also make it better, but it's hard to like predict what's going to happen.
I do a live reel on Sunday, not a live reel, but I record myself on Sundays and post on Sundays, just a motivational talk, like, hey, I love you out there kind of thing. And play some kind of a song behind me that means something for the day, kind of thing. Yeah. And that's the only thing I truly really like do a reel of. Everything else is all like articles and me just chiming about the industry and stories. But that one reel I do a week, it getting stoned before that and then waiting and not being too stoned when I do it.
You can't be too stoned. You
right.
really like
because I gotta get it done, or else there
Yeah.
was one day I was too stoned, and I must have re-recorded like 15 times. I'm like, I was pissed. I'm like, this one sucks. This one's boring. This one sucks.
And
This
then the
15
magic's like
times.
not there anymore. Like your 15th
Right, then
you're just like mad at yourself, and you're
Yeah,
like,
you just
I
might as well
don't want to be
stop.
here anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
If I can I try to do it in like one take. I want to be done. I just like, I want to just, if I have, and this one time I was too baked. I'm like, this sucked. And I got in my own head, and you didn't want to do it.
And
so I can look at myself in the camera, but you just get in your head sometimes when you're trying to produce something that's here's how I feel. When I'm producing something, it's not for me. Does that make sense? So it has to mean something. I just can't do something. It has to mean something for me to do it. So I see everybody's reels out there, and I'm like, I could, but does it mean something? Because I want to put content. I'm not an influencer. I tell that to people all the time. I don't want to be an influencer. I just want to be me.
Yeah.
That's it. And what I like is what I like. And hopefully you like what you like, and I'm an advocate for weed and for marijuana and cannabis because I have been since I was born with it in my blood. So to be able to like do a reel or do something, like you put really good content out there. You put a lot of thought into it. You put a lot of training. You put a lot of knowledge. You put your heart and you show your passion. If I don't have passion in it, I'm not doing it.
And that's like one of the things when people ask me for like advice for creating content, like I say, don't make content if you don't want to that day, because it's so obvious to people watching you if you don't want to be doing that. Like if the passion isn't there, they don't want to watch it. You don't want to do it. So just don't. And just save that idea for a different day when you're feeling inspired and you're feeling confident, and then record it then. And it's going to do so much better if people think that you care. And it's like you're sharing your passion.
Because you use science for advocacy as your social media platform, and you're educating people. And what Mrs. Weedman, my wife, talks about the most is on everything, all 8 decades. It's all about stopping the stigma. So you use science to stop it.
Yeah, part of it. I mean, what my goal is, even if it's not always obvious, is like giving people little snippets of information that they can use in conversations to talk about the science of cannabis, the medicinal benefits. Like they can sound like an educated consumer so that when you're talking to people, they're like, oh yeah, there is a lot of science. There is a lot of research. There is a lot of information here that cannabis is safe and it's effective and it's a good medicine. And just kind of using or teaching people communication tips, I think is really important, as, using science, using communication as advocacy. And also being like, I am very open about the fact I use cannabis every single day, multiple times a day. Like I call myself a stoner because I think for me, like if I can put that out there on social media, on all my platforms, and also say, yeah, I also have my PhD in pharmaceutical sciences, and I'm also a part-time professor, like that's showing that we are not just lazy, stupid people. Like we are all functioning members of society, and we all offer something to society. And we need to be able to show that we're everywhere and that we can be open about it and still be smart, well-spoken, good people.
I'm going to tell the truth. I'm ambitiously lazy.
Oh, I love being lazy.
I'm ambitiously lazy. I like to get my shit done and get it done so I can have some time to be lazy. I'm lazy, just like fucking 99.95% of the people out there. Everyone's got a little bit of laziness in them. You need to relax. You need to unwind. That's not being lazy.
Like, we're not supposed to work like 24/7. Like no
terrible.
Animal like is supposed to work 24/7. But
no.
we push ourselves to do that.
I'm jealous of my dog. She sleeps like 15 hours a day. I'm like,
yeah.
And then you get up and you forage for food, you poop, you pee, you do whatever the hell you got to do, and then you go back and you sleep for 3 more hours. You get to play. I want to do that. You do your work, but man, I like to be a little lazy here and there. So there is no lazy. I've been saying this for a long time. There is no lazy stoner, burner, or pothead. Okay, there isn't.
Lazy people that have.
There's just lazy people.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm ambitiously lazy. I'll be the first one in a minute. I get my shit done. I get it done right. I want to get it done right the first time, so then I can go fuck off for a little bit. There's the first F-bomb for the show, ladies and gentlemen.
I start on my whiteboard.
There's one. So, but there isn't any lazy stoners, burners, or potheads.
No,
There's not.
100%. No,
They're
and
not. They're just
and
lazy people.
I was
You're
just
already
thinking,
lazy. You're already
I was
lazy.
thinking about this today. Like anytime anything's like associated with drinking or smoking or whatever, it's like those are the people we need to focus on. It's not the substance. Like it's never the substance. Let people do what they want to do. Like a lot of people find value in cannabis, and often it makes us just calm down and chill and have a good time. But even with something like alcohol or even something like cocaine, like it's not just the substance. We need to, like, if somebody wants to be angry and a killer and whatever, like they're gonna do that regardless of substance. So I just think we need to start blaming the people and not the substances that the people are taking.
Sure.
100%. 100%.
I mean, it's a lot. We like to point and blame people as like a society, a species. I don't even know what, we like.
I'm just a fucking human being. I make mistakes just like every other human being out there.
Constantly.
It's just so
You're not
simple.
making mistakes all the time. You're not learning very much.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
At least for me, like, I got to be making mistakes.
Yeah, it's the only way to learn. When I used to train people in the lab, like they would keep asking me for advice on things, and I'm like, you're going to have to follow your gut and make a mistake. And if you make a mistake, you're never going to make that mistake again. But if I just tell you to do something, you're probably not going to remember what I told you to do. So I'll just watch you and make sure you don't blow shit up. But other than that,
if I don't make 10 mistakes on trying to learn that one thing, then I didn't actually learn it. Because it takes me 10 times to learn something. So I mistake it 10 times. And then I get better.
Exactly. So, it's literally the best way to learn. You have to. And especially something like growing weed or just gardening in general. Like you could read a book on gardening, or you can just try different things. And you know what? The weather is going to change all the time. That's not something you can control, but you're still going to learn like, oh, it was a really, really wet year. This crop didn't do well. Okay, well, even on dry years, maybe I won't water that crop as much because it obviously doesn't like to be wet 24/7. You're just learning.
Yep.
Yeah.
What learning is.
So social media, like you use it as a form of education, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's where specifically the youngest generation or the younger generation, what are they? What's the one? Gen Z?
Z? You're a millennial?
Yeah,
I'm an Xer. I'm an Xer. My son's friend. My son's friends like to make fun of me and call me a boomer. I'm not. I'm 72. I was born in 72.
You don't look like a boomer. You don't look like a boomer.
I was born in 72. So I'm right in the middle of the Xers. And then you got, what do you got? Millennials and then Zers, right?
Yeah.
And then what's the new one they're calling them now? I don't even remember. Like baby.
It has a different name. Yeah.
Baby TikToks or something they're calling
them. I don't think they're baby TikToks. Well, on that subject, I mean,
how do people get away with TikTok? I've tried to post stuff on TikTok. I lost 2 fucking accounts on TikTok, and I wasn't even smoking. I was just talking about smoking, and bam, boom, done. Twice I lost.
Wait, was your name Mr. Weedman 420?
No, it's Weedman 420 Chronicles. All my shit is Weedman 420 Chronicles. All of it. I don't give a fuck. I'll lose accounts. I'll keep on losing accounts. I'm Weedman 420 Chronicles 2.0 now. Because that's my last one got hacked. That's even worse. You ever been hacked?
That's tragic. That's tragic.
That was so.
I lost people that meant something. Like people that were with me from like 2018, 2019 when I started. Like some of the DMs I got, and some of the notes, and some of the people I met that I haven't regained. I don't even know if because there was some Bitcoin hacker that just like started to try to sell Bitcoin to people on my shit, and I think all those people might have really thought that was me. And
oh my God.
Me. Right. So I lost so many people. But what I really lost was the notes that people sent me.
Oh, I feel that. Yeah. Stories, notes, like pictures.
Just telling me stories of like how cannabis has helped them and what they went through over the years, and just like writing back and forth, like couple, like just taking the time out. They're writing to me. I'm a nobody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But to have 500-600 messages gone, like handwritten people taking the time out to write to me. You know, that when you lose something like that, it sucks. So I mean, but go ahead. I mean, like you use it for an education, but have you gotten wiped out? Like, have you ever gotten knocked out of the box?
Oh, I've had. Oh my God. Well, yeah. Each social media platform is a little different. My Instagram's been deleted, I think 8 times. Like a lot.
When we talked about your burp in the bag, I was like, I'm gonna bring up censorship because it happens. So I've been a fan and following for I can't even like close to a year. I'd have to say back when you had a different show. Was a huge fan of your old show, and it was like, man, I can't believe they are deleting her freaking account. This is insane to me.
I think it wasn't the algorithm though. I think that was specific people who just hate me.
Reported you?
Yeah, because, like that were reporting my content.
Was it because of the whole the trapping?
You know, I do a lot of controversial things, so I'm not really sure. Because I also, like, if somebody's, like, being an asshole in the comments, like, I'll play back. And that's, like, I'm making enemies. I make enemies when I do that.
No, good for you. I just give everybody a heart. Whether it's good, bad, or ugly, I just give them a heart.
I've now started blocking people instead of, like...
Ooh, block's nice.
Yeah, the block.
You don't even have to worry about it, bro.
But you have to block them, or they're gonna report you. Like before, I'd be like, "Oh, I wouldn't block anyone, like free speech, whatever." And now I'm like, "No, fuck you guys. Like you're gone forever."
You work hard to
build,
absolutely to build that. Here's what I'm gonna call it, because I don't like calling them follow. I don't think I follow people. People follow me. But what I believe I have now on social media is a tribe of people who I am involved with, community. Tribal community, you know, of just people that believe in cannabis. And everyone's got their own opinion, you know. So I think you just, to me, I'm not looking just to follow anybody anymore. I'm not looking to like just play the follow game and follow me off. If you want to follow me, great. If you don't want to follow me, fine. If you follow me and I don't follow you, or if I follow you, who cares? I just want to be kind and spread a good word. I'm not.
That's the best attitude to have on social media.
Because I'm so done with it. I'm so done with it.
You can't care about numbers either. Like it's not that kind of game.
No,
like
I'm done with
you just need to post things you're passionate about, and you'll attract the right people. Like you can't play the numbers game ever.
Right. It's in everything you read about. Oh, you gotta. You know what?
No.
I just want to be your friend. If you want to be friends and you want to talk about weed, you want to post stupid stuff, and you want to talk about something good, and you want to join a cool community that people post some fun shit, and you want to learn about weed, come hang out.
Yeah.
If you don't, you don't.
And I've had my TikTok fully removed too, but that was only one time. TikTok is actually a lot better for me with this type of information. And I think it is because they don't take like the false reports as seriously. So that definitely helps. But also I keep my content pretty like education focused. And I try to keep it there. So if they have to review my content, they can be like, oh, okay, well, she's not showing herself smoking the plant, which you can never do on TikTok. Like you will never.
I did that once and I lost my account. That was like
that
was
you
my
can
first
never
TikTok.
do that.
I didn't know. It was probably like my 15th video in, and I was like, I'm fucking lighting a joint. Bang. Did I know?
It's so quick too. Yeah. But I mean, there's also like less obvious censorship, right? Like not your whole account being removed, but maybe that video only reaches a very select pool of people. So that's like being shadow banned, but you know,
I'm so shadow banned right now on Instagram. It's not even funny.
Oh, Instagram obviously has the cannabis community like in a pool, and we all just see each other's content, and that's it.
Terrible.
Like that's the content we see.
That's it.
Yeah,
but TikTok. The only thing I post now on TikTok is the episodes that I launch for the podcast, because they don't ban that, and videos of my dog Yuki, and that's it.
Perfect.
So I get 2 followings, and I don't post anything about like me smoking weed or articles anymore. I just do that, and one day maybe TikTok will loosen up, and then I'll come out blazing.
Exactly.
Literally. So, but yeah, it's just like I don't even post myself smoking on Instagram anymore. It's just so sad. But I post good content on Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, and you just kind of got to keep going too, kind of as you're saying. And when that changes, like you'll be in a good place for yourself to get out there again. And I think it's important for us to keep posting on social media, even though it feels dumb sometimes. And it's like, oh, she posts on TikTok, you know, it's a Chinese website, blah, 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 like with a bunch of children dancing. But we have to realize
TikTok is fucking funny.
Okay, it's the best. It's the best.
And I learned so much on TikTok. It's all how you use the algorithm. I've learned about like how to live out in the wild. I've learned about RFK
Recipes.
Jr. I've learned about
Recipes on
just
TikTok
recipes are
fire.
amazing. I've learned so much history, culture, like stuff I never would have known before if I had to like dig deep in the internet. And I was like,
Dude,
oh, I like this, and then it'll run for a little while.
This is literally it. It's, you know, Gen Z, millennials, like this is our main way of getting information. It's not the news. It's not the radio.
You get some really good legit news.
Yeah.
Legit news, worldly news, like shit that our news here in the States ain't showing. And you're like,
So, like,
you motherfuckers are hiding shit.
And you have to think of it like, or at least this is how I conceptualize it sometimes. It's like, you're essentially on the news. If you go like viral on TikTok, like you're on the news. You have millions of people watching you talk about something that you're passionate about. So you have the opportunity when you create content to change lives, to change perceptions. And like, I take that very seriously. So I try to make good content that people will see as educational and see as destigmatizing. And, you know, maybe they learn something that changes their use patterns, or maybe they don't, or maybe they learn something they can tell someone about. But, you know, it's, you kind of have to realize like you have this amazing platform with modern day social media. If you can use
live,
it correctly.
instant, like that.
It's
so
amazing.
Fast,
it's so powerful.
So quick. Like you flip through and you're like, oh, fuck. Holy shit. Wow. You know, but I'm scared now to post content like I was doing the first two because I'm afraid to get booted. And, you know, so I'm just being chill right now. And like I said, I'll come out blazing, guns a blazing soon. I will.
And when you do like, when you get in trouble, like if you get a strike or something, like you have to chill for a minute. You can't just keep like.
I'm afraid to. I'm afraid. I'm two strikes. I'm two strikes. I get one more. Who knows? So, and I don't feel like doing it. So I'm playing nice. Just posting the podcast episodes and dog pictures of Yuki.
Well, and none of these social medias have like someone that you can contact for help. If it's like, oh, my account was wrongfully deleted. Like, good luck. You're just
when my shit was getting hacked, I was trying to contact fucking Instagram. I was panicking. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna lose this account. And not even an email back. I was crying. Right, big girl?
Yeah, no, it was
so upset. I was upset for like a week. I was hurting. Not because
it's a lot of work. Like
setting up like 1,400 posts. Like I had a lot of content on that last one. You know, a lot of cool shit, like all my Weed Man costume photos across Chicago, holding Legalize It signs and stuff. Good thing I had all that backed up.
It's like a diary, like looking back, like it's literally significant moments of your life, and it's just gone.
Now it's like people send me stuff like if I don't even click on it anymore. I'm so afraid. That's how that Bitcoin hacker got me. He just played with my emotions, like saying, "Hey man, I'm a bud tender here. I'm trying to get into a voting. I need some money, and if I win, I'll win $200. Can you vote for me? I need it for my wife and kids." And I clicked on it, and as soon as I did it, I said, "You dumbass."
Oh no, that's so sad. You were just trying to be nice.
Yeah. And I didn't do it for like a month. You know, I didn't do it for like a month because he kept on hitting me. I'm like, nope, I don't trust it. And then it was like played with my emotions about family and shit. And I was like, oh,
dude, that's fucked up. That's like next level hacking.
I got a hard skin and a soft heart. He sold me, and I fucking felt bad. You know.
Oh man.
Do you think this is kind of specific to? I mean, I know cannabis isn't legal some places and is legal other places, but weed has this whole bro science side, backdoor side to it, you know? And so we deal with like legal science, you know, nothing at all going on fishy here types of you know, pages and influencers. But then we have this whole other side that's all over all the social medias really. And that's the backdoor side. How do you think that's damaging to the industry? Do you think that's holding back? Do you think that's kind of one of those things where they're like, we're just going to group some of this together?
I don't think it's damaging. I think any sort of normalizing, if we can just get more stuff out there about it, I think that's definitely good. That's part of destigmatizing, is like showing that everyone through all the spectrums is involved with this. And sometimes there is a bit of truth behind what they're saying, which can be a great kind of stepping stone if you're just starting to learn about weed. Like I realize some of my information is not accessible. Like it's you know, way beyond what people ever want to learn about with weed, and that's fine. So I think it kind of depends on what the person wants to learn and how they resonate with the creator. Like I mean, I'm fine with anyone creating any content. And if it really is really, really, really wrong, usually you can tell just in the comments, like pretty quickly. Enough people will be like, dude, this isn't even true. Like, why are you making this stuff up?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm fine with it. I don't know. How do you guys feel about it? Do you not like the bro science?
No,
I don't think I follow any bro science, so I don't know. I don't know really to follow it. So.
I think the best gardeners out there use both sides. So
I think so too.
there's a bro science side of this that's like you can't replace somebody that's been growing weed for 20 years with a book. And there's also a side of this where there are our education. I know we have definitely fantastic horticulturalists, professors, and people learning, but the people teaching the actual cannabis classes now, I can't see them being somebody who's been doing it for a very long time, actually growing it. I can see them being very smart and having tons of tips and tons of stuff that'd be very helpful to a bro science type of gardener. But I think that they can't give the whole package yet. And one year at some point they will be able to, when the professors have been growing weed their whole life and are educated.
I think that too. And I've noticed that gap, especially like when academia tries to offer some sort of like certificate in cannabis science or something. And I'm looking at the lineup of professors and I'm like, none of you have ever grown or probably ever smoked weed before. Why are you teaching this? Like, stop.
So I learn a lot from Big Earl on growing. So, and I read a lot. So I don't really follow, the folks we have had on the show. But I went to school for cannabis. When Illinois went legal here, they all 8 of the junior colleges got some of the tax donation to offer cannabis retail specialist courses. So I took courses in craft beer, the Cicerone course, to learn about craft beer. So as much as I knew about how to sell weed, very little about growing, but also very little about the whole ins and outs of the plant. Like I wanted to know more, more than I've already read about. But I also wanted to see, I already had started doing the show. So I think I was like 30 episodes in, maybe 25 episodes in. And I said, well, to me also, because I like to educate, it's what I went to school for, secondary education. I love to teach. I love to coach. I love to mentor. And I've been doing it for a long time in sales. So, but I'm like, if I'm going to become someone to be able to talk about this, I have to know everything about it. Yeah. I've sold traditional market forever. Yes, I read magazines, or maybe I might have read this back in the day, or heard stuff, or read an article, but never dealt deep like into studies. Because I'm 51. I mean, and the internet wasn't around, and back when I was younger. So I went to school, and I have to say it should have been free. The schools shouldn't charge for it because it was coming from the tax dollars. That was the only thing I could say that rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
Okay. It's already paid for. I mean, Illinois did $600 million last year in tax revenue. You're telling me you can't just give it to it for free?
It's like teachers? Donating blood, and then they charge you like a fuckload of money to get the blood.
So it was $1,200. Fine. So for the certificate course, it wasn't part of the associate's degree, which where I got my associates from. It's actually a really good junior college, and it was cool that they were the first. I was the first body of the course, and I thought it was great. I thought they taught really well, so I think it was worth. I think, like I said, it should be free, but it was worth my time and my money to take it all, because it started off with the basics of cannabis, the rules and regulations of cannabis, and then it taught the horticulture of cannabis. So you got really delved in. It taught the history of the plant from when it was discovered. It taught the history of when cannabis went through They did it for their first one. I was a part of their first one.
That's
cool. They did a really good job. Was it the best? A lot of stuff was pulled off the internet because these were new teachers that were interested in the plant. They were the teachers that taught science and stuff like that. So I have to appreciate that they really wanted to learn. They actually went out and got podcasters. This was back in 2020 that had good followings and taught about the plant on podcast. They had a couple people come on and teach. I thought it was dope. They gave you a lot of good notes. You had to take tests. You had to write essays. You had to learn. It was good. We
Well,
actually got taught. The rules and regulations was taught by a lawyer who was a DA for a very long time,
cool.
put people away, and he taught the rules and regulations. I thought it was very good. I thought it was a very good course. I just think the only thing that rubbed me the wrong way was that they charged. It should have came from the tax dollars. And I think the governor and the people who wrote the laws fucked that up. And I also made the cover of Moraine Valley Community College magazine as being the first cannabis student. So
that's very cool.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But now they stopped teaching that retail specialist course, and now they're doing growing courses there, which I was thinking about going back just to learn, just to take it, because I went there and I think it's cool to support it. You know, they should offer for free, though. I'll see if they offer free, because I ain't paying that kind of money ever again for cannabis, because I got Big Earl to teach me.
Maybe for their first student ever, they'll give a special discount.
Yeah,
maybe. I just think it should be free. All the junior colleges should offer for free. The 8 that do. And
I think most education should be free.
Yeah, especially the basics of cannabis course, where you can just go learn about the plant, learn about all the basics, the history. It's a 1 hour course a week for 8 weeks, and you're done. And I thought that was a great course. So go ahead. Sorry I took too long, but talking about the bro science of all. I think you have to educate. If you want to educate people, you have to be educated in ways of what you're going to talk about.
I agree with that.
And the experiences of it all, though, too, come with that.
And I think any form of education, like at any level, the value can even come with like identifying like keywords that then you can go research on your own time. But maybe you didn't even know those words existed, like cannabinoid. Like if you didn't know that word existed, then when you talk about THC, CBD, CBC, CBN, none of that means anything. You don't even know like what this reference is. So like slowly starting to piece that together. And cannabis is not an easy subject. Like it is really, really, really complex. And then how it interacts with your body is like 10 times more complex. So it is not something I would expect people to just like grasp by listening to like one podcast episode. It kind of takes the dedication of the user, of the community, to be like, I want to learn about this because I'm doing it every day and it's important to me.
And it's still constantly changing. Like the education, it's like every day we're like, oh, actually, this is the type of light that does this for the plant. Or actually, you don't, like, it's every day is something new somewhere where it's like, holy shit, we didn't understand that right. It's crazy.
It is crazy. And just research coming out about, you know, this molecule is good for this medical condition. Then everyone's like, oh my God, okay, well, we should be treating this with it. And, you know, everything changes on the medical side so quickly. So you kind of have to be on your toes and also, you know, just being aware of what's happening so that you can be the best advocate that you can by just staying educated.
The breeding industry, too, something that probably isn't thought about a lot, but the breeding industry follows that very closely. You hear about a cannabinoid, all of a sudden there's a plant that has 1%. All of a sudden there's a plant that can grow 1.2%. All of a sudden you hear of plants hitting 2 or 3%.
Earl, how long ago did we meet first time at your house and we were talking about, I said, whoever can make a plant with all the cannabinoids in there or be able to specialize in getting people what they want cannabinoid wise is going to be a very rich person. It's going to be a very rich. I said, if someone can capture that in that ball, whoever could do it first, or if maybe not even first, but better than the first person did it, is going to be very wealthy. It's going to be what people are going to look for. So when you said about education, some people don't want to learn. They're going to have to if they want to use cannabis as medicine. You know, if they want to use cannabis as their everyday thing, it's not just about THC anymore. It's about everything else, because there's so many people out there that can't use THC.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's 120 cannabinoids we haven't even discovered yet. That might be that one for that person. That new person that discovers that new cannabinoid that's not synthetic.
That's not synthetic. That's really important. Yeah, we're not just trying to rearrange atoms to try to create cool shit. Like we're looking at the plant here.
Right. Yeah. So I'm excited. It's a good future. And then right behind us is going to be psychedelics, which I saw the mushroom behind you and you went and talked about you were at a psychedelic conference. So that's exciting too. You know, behind it, I like LSD and I like DMT and I like Molly. I don't really use mushrooms that much. I like them. I like eating them. I like them. Just for me, it's just like, I can't eat them every day. I like them to go to a show.
I
mushrooms,
agree. I mean,
you know, that's or
weed is always
camping.
Going to be my fave.
Yeah,
like,
that's me. You know,
weed is perfect. You can't beat it.
Can't beat it. I mean, the whole psychedelic revolution's coming again. And I'm excited about it because I like doing it on occasion. You know, I think they're great. They're good healing for me. They get my mind straight again, you know, but I don't want to do those every day. That's just not my medicine. I had this conversation with somebody about different medicines. Like, oh yeah, mushroom revolution's coming. I'm like, yeah, it's just not my everyday medicine. I like it as a social event. I like it camping. I like it when I hike, but I like weed. That's my medicine, you know?
Yeah, I'm the same way. Did you guys see what I don't know if you follow Weed Maps on social, was it Weed Maps? No, High Times. Do you follow High Times?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They just posted something today about how like weed education was lacking and we don't have enough weed education, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, do we not have enough
in my notes to read?
Right. Do we not have enough weed education, or are the algorithms preventing the weed education from even getting to people? Because I see that most like video content that people are making, especially on Instagram, even if it's super high quality content, it's not getting pushed out to the masses. It's getting pushed out to a very specific niche community of probably like, say, maximum 20,000 people. Like that's like what it seems like is what a lot of the weed content stays between. So, I mean, to really control education, we need to have, you know, mainstream news outlets talking about cannabis, which we don't see a lot, still heavily polarizing. And we need social media platforms to either figure out a way to only push content out to people of a certain age, or just push it out to everyone, because kids can learn about weed too. It's not going to harm them to learn about
they
how
have to. The next generation is never going to know what illegal weed is.
Like, we're not doing any service. It's essentially teaching them abstinence. Like, oh, weed doesn't exist because you're not seeing content about it on these social media platforms. Like, to normalize it and to educate about it, we need to find a way to get that information out there. And all the big media companies are suppressing it heavily.
Yeah, I agree 100% on that. I mean, what other industries do you think some you may compare to cannabis are seeing this? Are they seeing this harder? Especially to me, are corporations seeing this as bad?
I don't know about that. I mean, I've heard them say that they were, you know, quote, shadow banned. I'm not sure. But I know another distinct group of people that experiences similar censorship is sex workers.
What?
A lot of my mutuals.
You click on wait. You click on one by accident. That's all you'll get in your feed for like a month.
Oh, I know. But a lot of my mutuals on TikTok are other sex workers, and I hear about like, well, these women are talking about how like this is how they make money, but they can't make content that gets pushed out to people because they have like a very, you know, kind of illegal job in some places. Like and the algorithm knows that. So I think we're in like a similar group within these algorithms, sex workers and cannabis people.
It's so terrible. So how much censorship? I mean, why do you think we're seeing this kind of censorship still? I mean, it's like on the cuffs, like so close to like.
Well, I don't know if the algorithms go by like government scheduling. Like, I'm not really sure if cannabis was rescheduled or descheduled.
The stocks are right now, though. One good thing about it in the government, the stocks shoot back.
But also I don't know if you guys know who like Hank Green is. He's like a big creator in like the science communication world. But he made content about cannabis and it did great. It blew up on his channel. It, you know, went to millions of people. And I was like, why can he do this, but we can't do this? So I think it does have something to do with it.
Hank Green. That's why it must have been his name. It made sense to the algorithm.
Green. Yeah, totally.
I don't get it. I just don't understand it. I guess I don't really care enough to understand about algorithms and stuff. And I just like what I like.
We never will.
All right. Right. So it's just like, but they know what I like, boy. I mean, you click on one like of something and next thing you know, on all my social media platforms, I'm seeing that one thing. I'm like,
dude, I know.
Oh, come on.
Crazy.
It's brutal. Like Mrs. Weedman, she has a company she started called 8 Decades. It's a cannabis accessory company that she started ground up. She developed the products, designed them, worked with 2 students at M Hub and helped design. And then we had it fabricated and everything. And she doesn't, I mean, she's so shadow banned. I mean, she's been doing this since 2020, 2021, like really trying to build, and she gets no traction on social media at all. Brutal.
It's unfortunate when that's your job, like to
Mhm.
get that information out there and to get people to purchase things or whatever, and they just like you hit a wall, like you just cannot get past the wall. It's
Yeah.
that there's something at work behind the scenes there that's keeping that wall pretty sturdy.
And, I mean, it's just wrong. It's just wrong for like a person that's not even like putting anything harmful like out there, not showing half of the stuff that you see on social media that skates by, or gets by.
And a lot of people in the weed industry are genuinely trying to offer information that could be harm reduction. Like you're telling people, hey, if you consume this way, it helps with anxiety. Or, hey, if you suffer from this condition, you should definitely try this product because the science says blah, blah, blah. But you can't say that stuff because you're promoting a weed product. So it's not going to go through. So it is pretty unfortunate. And I don't really know what the answer is other than maybe platforms like YouTube. But do you guys watch YouTube videos? I don't even watch like YouTube videos, so I'm not a good YouTuber because I don't even know what to do.
Here and there, I watch them. I post my stuff on YouTube, but I mean, I watch them when I want to learn something, or I watch something about Star Wars that I don't know about, some nerdy, some anime stuff.
Do you ever just like let yourself like go down an internet hole, like wherever your clicking takes you, you just
TikTok.
go on the journey?
I've done it on TikTok. Like
no, but it's like, more fun not on TikTok, where you can actually
really?
like click links and like you get to like really niche parts of the internet, and you're like, this is so fun. Like I'm learning so much about random shit I didn't even know I wanted to learn about.
I did that on TikTok.
At the shop I worked at, we used to play, when we play music, say, how are you going to play this? And we used to play a game on YouTube where you pick a song and then you can only pick off of the suggestions on the side. And you always end up at the most obscure stuff. But like 50% of the time, you'd end up at Beatles and a lot of Michael Jackson.
I wouldn't be mad about either one if you ended that way.
It was crazy, but yeah, it was similar kind of. It was just like, I can't believe it's suggesting these now.
Oh, it's fun, and you would never find those videos. Like they're just so random. It's also, speaking of beetles, we recently got dermested beetles, like the flesh-eating beetles for skulls. They're really, really fun to watch. Like it's better than TV.
That like habitat, was that like out of a cooler?
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, it was like an old freezer, and then we made like a top, and then we made a viewing window so that we can just like watch them. It's
you just put skulls in there, and they eat the skin off, and then you're left with all the bone, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
So you have like a beautiful, clean skull left over.
Yeah, that's cool. So on to, do you think there's anything we can do? Like, what should we do as members of this, community that's being censored? Anything, get us uncensored to
what I do when I see other cannabis creators videos is I just interact with them. I'm commenting on everyone's video. Like I'm always just putting hearts and just like smiley faces, whatever, liking, sending to like, my husband or something, just like interact in some way. Cause that definitely helps videos. I don't know what else we can do. I mean, we can
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So do you notice that Mrs. Weedman and I, we're seeing the same stuff now, the same reels, like learning stuff, like learning reels, like learning like the same recipes of cooking and the same of this. And I'm like, did you see this? I saw that yesterday. I'm like, and then she goes, I'm like, yeah, I saw this today. And she's like, we are seeing the same, probably about 80 to 90% of the same stuff now. We still have our off stuff. Like she doesn't see anime. I see anime. I like old school wrestling stuff. I don't really watch new school stuff anymore, but she doesn't see any of that. But there's like that 80% now we're seeing like the same stuff.
We have
like,
significant overlap.
We've sent enough stuff to one another now that the algorithms like now know what we like.
Perfectly synced up.
Yeah.
100%. Like we'll be like getting ready for bed and I'll hear his phone play a video and I'm like, I've seen that. I know what that video is.
Oh man, it's like that's. I mean, every once in a while we'll catch one off of one another. We'll have a start like we'll have a hysterical laugh because she hasn't seen it from me and I haven't seen it her. We get some good laughs, but it's like, man, we see so much of each other, the same stuff anymore. We got nothing to share. Like, kind of like,
we got nothing to share. That's hilarious.
I'm not on TikTok really. So I'm on Instagram, and every time I send my wife something, she's like, "Yeah, I was on TikTok last week."
Yeah, like a month ago.
I was like, "Yeah, Instagram is what TikTok was last week," and I'm like, "No, it's not."
But still,
Facebook's what it was 5 years ago. What TikTok and Twitter is now. So, you know,
are you guys on Instagram Threads?
I signed up for an account. I posted a few things. I can't. There's so much. I can't follow everything anymore. It's driving me crazy.
Everyone dropped off of Threads. Like nobody uses it anymore. So I just happened to like pop back on Threads kind of recently. So now it's just a string of my high thoughts. Like it's no education. It's just like random high thoughts, and it's so much more fun. Like
that actually makes it better. That's actually
it's so fun.
I might start using it again. Just going.
You should keep doing high thoughts.
That's what Wiz Khalifa was doing on Twitter. He would just put a high thought, you know, and I thought that was brilliant. But I don't like.
Where else are you gonna put it? Like it's a little high thought diary. Like one of mine from last week was like, "Human fighting is wild." Like that was just my whole thing. It was like. You just throw it out. Just throw it out there. But like that's what people are doing. It's just like you have a thought go in your brain, you put it on Threads, and then it's gone forever. It's fun.
Yeah. All right, I'll have to try that. Make it fun.
Cool.
Just because it gets annoying. There's so fucking many social media. You don't know what to concentrate on. You're just like, oh, did I post on TikTok today? Did I post on this one today? I posted on this one today. Did I post on this one today? Just because you're trying to reach it. When Instagram was kind of cool for a minute because you were able to post from Instagram to TikTok. I'm sorry, Instagram to Twitter. They took that off my stuff now because
I didn't even know you used to be able to do that.
Yeah, cool. You used to be able to do that, and about a year and a half ago, they took the Twitter button off. You used to be able to click on Tumblr and Twitter to get it to go your post. So it made so much sense for me, an easy life, and now they made it hard.
I wish I could just post.
Are there apps that you can post to? Like
just
so all your.
No,
stuff?
not all of them. I think
Not
it's
all
like
of them.
Facebook and Instagram are linked, and then TikTok's its own little island, and then
Like you can post from TikTok to Instagram. It's simple.
Oh,
like,
you can?
You can in your story. You can pretty easily, or you can share it pretty easily.
Okay, I think I knew that. Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's so much. Like there's just so many. So
Dude,
let me ask you a
it's
question.
too much.
You're what I've seen you post really amazing content. It's great. How do you? Give somebody you've been doing it for a hot minute. How did somebody new like that wants to start doing this? And I'm throwing just because I believe in mentorship and I believe that successful people should share their mentorship with.
I'd love to talk about this. There is a formula.
So how for somebody to get in that wants to start, has their own little personal one, but how does somebody like yourself would give advice to somebody that wants to start doing it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, one, you're going to have to post a lot when you're getting started. Like, be consistent. If you have a video that does bad, don't get all hung up on it and be like, oh, I'm sad, I didn't get attention, blah, blah, blah. Just keep posting. But I think the most important thing is the first 3 seconds of your video, make sure it's interesting. Don't be like, hey, welcome back. It's Riley. We're here in New Hampshire. Nobody cares. You already lost everyone. Like, you need to be like, hey, here's 3 things about cannabis that you didn't know. And then people are like, oh, what's she going to say next? So, okay, you got your first 3 seconds. That's very important. I find making content that is savable is the most valuable thing you can do. So we know that engagement in a video is what makes it do well. So to kind of guarantee that it's going to do something, you need to make it shareable or savable. So if you're offering some little fun fact, that's savable. Like you just taught someone something, they're going to want to save that for later. If you say something really funny, somebody's going to want to share that with their friend. That's very shareable. So these are like ways you're essentially boosting the algorithm. And then make it short, less than a minute is ideal. I mean, I say that and I posted a video today that was 1.5 minutes, but typically you want it to be like relatively short because people's attention span is just getting shorter and shorter and shorter.
Because there's so much stuff.
Yes. And then the last thing is just be genuine. Like, again, if you don't want to be there, people can tell you don't want to be there. But if you are excited to share something that you're talking about and you're knowledgeable in it and like you're making that content because you want to make that content, people can tell and people will want to like watch that energy for longer. So those are my main tips that I think almost any creator could implement and start doing better on their videos.
Nice.
That's a good little, a good little outline, a basic, nice, easy outline that somebody would need. Thank you.
And I know it
sharing
works because we, like, my husband and I have the second account, New England Naturals, and that's exactly what I shared with him. I'm like, I know this is going to work if we just make content like this. We follow those rules, and that account has 135,000 on TikTok and 20,000 on Instagram. And we started it less than a year ago, or about a year ago.
Do hashtags still matter?
I don't think so. At least not in cannabis. You can't be like hashtag cannabis is medicine, hashtag legalized.
You got to do all the different words for it.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Yeah. So
plant medicine.
Other words I found, I would have problems when I do like hashtag flowers, because I think it was reaching people that didn't want to see it, kind of thing. And it was like that was a long time ago. I stopped using hashtag because I noticed I wasn't getting fucked.
I use tree a lot in my stuff. Tree. Hashtag tree. Hashtag tree.
I don't know if they help or hurt. I've not seen it. I've heard that they help, but I've not seen trends in my own stuff that back that up. So they
make me laugh sometimes. Sometimes the hashtag, I'll read a few hashtags and be like, that's pretty funny. That's pretty
funny.
There's nothing better than a funny ass meme or a good GIF, man. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I posted one today that was I've been laughing about it for 24 hours now since I posted it. Earl, did you see that one? The two frogs fighting with the sound effect? I've been laughing about that fucking thing since 1 o'clock in the morning last night. I had to post it. I was crying.
I want to see it now. I got to pull it up.
I was crying. You're gonna die. It's just in my story. I didn't post it as a reel. It's just in my story. And I was, oh my gosh, man, I've been laughing for a while. And oh, it's too funny. But before we say goodbye.
Oh yeah, I'm still here. Sorry.
No. Here's the question. I think this is a serious one. Can someone become brain overload with how much social media and how many different apps for social media there is? And can someone get burnout? Like, have you been burnt out? I know I have. At one point, I was like, man, I've been doing this for 5 years. Trying to come up with content every day for 5 years is not easy. And also doing 2 shows, with one with Big Girl and one with Mrs. Weeman. Trying to come up with content. Can there be like brain like malfunction at one point? If it wasn't for cannabis, if it wasn't for fucking smoking weed, I'd have brain overload.
Yeah,
I can't wait to get that weed in me at some point. Like just to mentally just go. I'm done. The stigma, like the mental stimulation is over. I can relax and just couch lock me, please.
I think people, you can be overwhelmed, and you see this with creators a lot, that they're like, mental health is not okay. Like you see it all the time. And this is why I think it is important when you don't want to create content to not create content, because you're kind of pushing that limit too hard when you're trying to force yourself to be in the mood to do that. And like, lately, I've been on a pattern where I'll like create a ton of content one week and then I'll drop off the face of the earth the next week, and then a ton of content and then drop off. And it's like, all right, whatever my brain's going through, for some reason, I don't want to do this right now. And I just let myself have a whole week of nothing. And of course, like if it's someone like your wife who like needs to make sales and needs to make the money from social media, like that might be different for some people, but if you do have the freedom to only create when you feel creative, like you should listen to that as much as you can to avoid burnout, because then you'll also get more creative in the times that you're giving yourself, time to step away and to think a bit differently and not be stressed out about that. So you kind of have to find your own balance. For some people, they can create content 24/7 because their niche is just like lifestyle. They're just like vibing on camera, like that's fine. But especially if you're trying to create savable, educational, high quality content, that takes a lot of effort. It's not something that you can just like do on a whim all the time. So I think you just got to be gentle with yourself and, kind of work that into your schedule of being like, I'm not going to be productive every day. I cannot post on 4 different social medias every single day and, do all the other stuff I'm doing. Like, that's not a sustainable lifestyle. So let's just not expect that from the beginning.
Like trying to live a little bit too.
Yeah.
I felt the other side of that a little bit. Like 4 or 5 years ago, when I started to realize that like there was so much education out there, and maybe even closer to 6 years ago now. Fuck, it's like the end of 2023. There's so much education out there that like me gardening wasn't enough. Like if I wanted to do more and stay relevant in my industry, I needed to level up. And I found myself only listening to podcasts, only reading these books. And I was like, I burned myself out really hard because it was like, I need to, and so there's so much available that I found that me taking some time and being like, okay, I'm putting the music on this time, or I'm just gonna chill this time, helped a ton.
Dude, I struggle with the same thing where I if I'm not like taking in information 24/7, I'm like, feel like I'm just not doing enough. And that is how you get burned out. And then your brain's just stimulated 24/7. You're not actually retaining anything. You're just, there's just words being pounded at your brain 24/7. But I've dug myself into that same hole, and it's like, why do I feel this way? I do not need to be consuming this 24/7.
I actually took off on Sunday. I didn't post my Sunday post. I was like, my one video I do a week, I was out till, I didn't go to bed till 4:00 in the morning. And this old man was like, woo, 4:00 in the morning. It's been a hot minute out dancing till 2 a.m., stopping for Lawrence Fisheries, getting some fried shrimp and some French fries on the way home. If anybody knows that little secret over there in Canal off of Cermak, Lawrence Fisheries, after a good show, fried shrimp and some fries on the way home. Came home, played with the dog till 4:00 in the morning, went to bed, and then had to go to brunch with our kids. And I was like, you know what? I'm burnt, man. I'm gonna enjoy this one day. I'm gonna live for today. I'm fried bacon, like fried, like I could just. It was a long night. The bags were coming out. I'm like, I'm not posting today. I'm good. I just posted what I did last night. I posted one of the DJs playing. I'm like, this is my post for the day. Just enjoy the music.
Dude, I was actually, when I was in Michigan, I had like one of my podcast episodes ready to post, whatever. I had edited it the week before so that I can just post it and chill. And like something went wrong. It wouldn't post. And I was having this whole like episode over it. And then I'm like stepping back and I'm like, dude, this is like your passion project, and you should not be getting this mad over something that is supposed to make you happy. So I was just
right there, something that makes you happy. I love it.
And then I'm like, who the fuck is gonna care? Like, who is gonna care that if I don't get this out?
You need to put an RK1 because you said your first F-bomb of the day.
I think that might have been my second.
I think you said more than me. No, I'm just kidding. I know. I said like 8 today.
No, but it's you can't take yourself that seriously. It's just going to ruin the fun for you. If you want it to be sustainable, you need to keep enjoying it. And you can't have that energy associated with when you post and how many people are like, waiting or whatever. It's like, it doesn't matter. Like, just stay positive about it and you'll be okay.
Yeah. It's going to be next year, in a year. And it's like, it's just not worth the time. Now, all of a sudden, 2024 is going to be here. And you're like, man, have I been like a fucking pissy, whatever it is, just trying to cram this down my throat, or like, am I enjoying my time? Because to me, that's really what it's all about. That's why I love cannabis so much. It's something that does help you enjoy your time.
Yeah.
It's just a plant. Can't get mad at a plant. Yeah. Even though they've tried for a long time to get mad at this plant, you just can't get mad at it. It's just too good. There's angels in those leaves, baby. You can't get mad at that plant.
Oh, the mood altering effects are like, the other day I was just like in a kind of a bad mood or whatever, and I'm just like, stomping around like a child. And then I like go upstairs and I hit the volcano and I get like pretty high. And then I'm just sitting on the couch smiling, like petting my cat. And my husband walks in and he's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you were just like literally stomping around the house. And now you're just like smiling and happy as a clam. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty magical.
Love it. Love it. Well, hey, thank you for coming on again. And for Burpin the Bag. We appreciate you hanging with us. We look forward to the next one. Hopefully we can get you on for the roundtable discussion. with Rachel from Deep Roots. That's going to be a good one. We're super stoked. That's educational, and once again, that's you and Rachel from Deep Roots, just education us boys over here. So I love it. I'm super stoked to have you back on for that one. And go ahead and tell everyone where we can find you at.
Cool. Yeah. Pretty much all socials. Pretty much all socials at Cannabichem, CANNABICHEM, including Threads. Highly recommend everyone joins Threads. And I think that's it. Oh, and my podcast is Bioactive with Riley Kirk. So that's on all major streaming platforms. And that's about cannabis and other natural products and how we utilize them.
Love it. And if you follow Riley on any social media, catch her. She's on the road doing some talks too. Make sure you can go out and see her because she'll bring the fire and she'll come in blazing.
Yeah, those were fun talks. Those were fun.
We appreciate you again. Big Earl, there's one thing that we didn't talk about today on the stigma of growing. What did we not talk about?
If we would post more CalMag product, I think we could really stomp this stigma much. It's all about the CalMag. Feed it 3 times what you're told, at least.
Everybody, don't forget the CalMag. Peace. Check out our cannabis lifestyle brand online at 8decades.com. Our custom smokes and accessories are perfect for your coffee table, bedroom nightstand, or kitchen counter. They're designed for you to show them off. The Canna community is also loving our hemp and cotton blend t-shirts, sweatshirts, scarves, and hats, finished off with our 8 Decades logo. We've got some awesome long-lasting goods that will be your favorite for years to come. 8 Decades, because a 9th decade of cannabis prohibition isn't acceptable.